we have the chance to share some information with you regarding reading projects and the importance they have to be used in your classroom. I am really glad to see a large number of you linked and connected. So that means that we are in the same channel no matter where we are. Unfortunately, it makes it a little bit difficult for me to be able to answer all your questions at the same time. I'm going to try to do my best and read your messages because you are, if you could see the registration number went up to 750 people, which is a very large audience. I feel famous, I have to admit. The point is, so far I got around 350 teachers connected, which is kind of difficult for me to be able to answer all your questions and read all your messages at once. I'm really sorry. I'm going to try to read your answers, but if there is something you have questions about and you cannot read my answer or hear my answer, please send an email to the addresses that I'm going to show you at the end. Everybody try to adjust your settings. Hi Ines, hello everybody. I hope you can hear me. I'm really sorry if there are certain ups and downs in some of the areas. You know, not a lot of people, well, people use connecting and these conferences, but it's not common that everybody does the same using the online services much more now because they are in lockdown. So some areas are online, and there are some on and offs in the sound. So bear with me. We hope you guys can hear most of it. Do not forget that this conference is being recorded. So this, you can find this session like a couple of hours after it is over. If you want to check something else, if you want to revise, please come back later and you can find the recording. You can access the video conference as a recording. And if you have a problem with it, just let us know and we will help you get the link to have information, all the information in this seminar. So if there is a problem and you guys want to share something, do it in the right side panel. You have a section which reads, well, it's a little hand like this. If you click on that little hand, I can assist you, okay? Please bear with me. I'm going to try to answer all your questions. If I don't do it, make sure that you send me an email or send us an email at the end of the session to the address that we will share, okay? So let's get started. What we have prepared for you today is linked to our reading projects and why they are important, all right? Let's move on. First of all, I would like you to please see this little video. I hope you can hear it correctly. I hope you get the chance to hear, even if you cannot hear, see what the little girl is doing now that the video is projected, or yet? Okay, let's go.
Что Хавра пишешь? Что пишешь? Вот читай. Почитай. Что си мистер, какие го читай, айде. Aj ti ovo čitaj, ja ću ovo. Evo ti baci, čitaj ovo. Ovako. Stavi sve tu. Čitaj. Ajde. What?
Well, even if you do not see the whole video, even if you just see pieces, and even if you don't hear, if you can notice, the girl is somehow right. Girl imitate, and probably the reason why this girl is imitate, even if she is this young, is because at a certain point she was read to. At a certain point around her had the chance to how she's even imitating. I don't know if you could notice the eyes, it's a little bit blurry, and I have already shared some information with where you can find it in case you want to access it later. Exactly, she intended she imitates, which means that they will maybe try to replicate, they will maybe to imitate. your experience with reading goes, okay? Situation number 1. Answer what you see on the screen, please. And tell me, in your opinion, does reading lower your stress? Yes or no? You got a poll in there and I would like to read your answers. Please click on your answer. The people who are reading the answer are to reply depending on your experience on reading. Click on yes or no depending on your answer. There is no right or wrong answer. And here we are just trying to see the experience people have around. 57, 60% of the people seeing this are voting. 63. I'll give you 30 more seconds if you may. 30 seconds to answer. 67% of you have voted. 67, 68. Anybody else? Come on, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds here. Are we all right? Okay, 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we stop it. Only 74% of you voted. Come on, guys. I would like to see your reply. So, according to the answers, the 86% of you thinks that reading is going to lower your stress. Others don't think that. Interesting to see that you guys do not all think or do not all agree on this situation. It might be because the reading sample that you pick up might be a thriller, and maybe you kind of have problems with that, right? So that might be the reason. If I have the chance to give you a little more of extra information, I could show you that reading, this was taken from a site online. Reading does lower your stress. The act of reading, focusing on the written text and on the content it has, is going to give you the chance to get your mind off pressure. You focus on particular topics and then the stress starts to disappear. There might be certain sections, depending on the text that you are reading, where you get a bit stressed because of the story, but on the whole, reading does lower your stress. Okay, let me set a second one. You're going to see another poll online. Could you please answer this one for us? Tell us, in your experience, can reading boost your sleep? Let's click on yes or no, depending on your experience. Can reading boost your sleep? Come on, I would like to read you. Let's click on yes or no. I agree, it depends on the topic. Let's try to make it general. Yes, for the students, it's kind of complicated. Okay, 44% has voted. Come on, guys, we have almost 400 teachers connected. I would like to see your opinion. What is it, a yes or a no? Does it boost your sleep? A few more people have already answered. We have the 74% saying yes so far. Only 68% has voted. Come on, I need more votes. I'm going to close it at 10, 9, 8, the 70% has voted. 7, 6, come on, a few more answers, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we will stop the survey. Let's see which your opinions were. Only 73% of you think that reading boosts your sleep. Interesting. The source that we checked gives us the following opinion. Let's see if you agree or disagree. We do not have to agree on anything, on everything. Evidently, this depends on what your experience with reading has been. But there is like a general opinion on the matter. And in this case, the opinion we have behind the one that we shared tells us that it does boost your sleep in most of the cases, because it helps you relax, right? If you are relaxed, it is easier for you to fall asleep. You usually start breathing better. You focus on a particular topic, your brain will evidently get somehow busy, and it can in fact help you. It might be a bit too general, we understand, but on the whole, the information that we get from evidence taken says that it does boost your sleep, okay? Let's see. One more question to you. Please answer what you have in the screen. This is now. Reading increases your vocabulary. What's your opinion? True or false? Click on true or false depending on what you think. Reading increases your vocabulary. Click on yes or no, true or false. 49% of you have voted. Come on. 61% have voted. What do you think? Okay, very quickly. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. 73% of you voted. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay. And the answer for you was, everybody agrees on that one. Reading increases vocabulary. That is completely true. It is funny though, because you would say that some people are going to find new vocabulary there, absolutely. However, if you find new vocabulary, it is very common that you have the chance to, through time, get it, through time, acquire it. And it gives you the possibility to get more information around as time goes by. Okay. Final point in here to move on would be, just a second, please. And we have, it does help you increase vocabulary. It will give you the possibility to come across a few new words, as I mentioned, and probably as you recognize them, the confusion leads to discover, because you sometimes infer that information, right? Infer that meaning. The last one says, reading strengthens your ability to write, your writing ability. What do you think? We're going to give it just a few seconds and we close it to move on. Only 1% thinks it is false so far. 36% have voted. Just your final opinion, please. Please, this is the last one. Okay. 57% have voted. A few more seconds to finish voting. Okay, 64, and I'm gonna count to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 70% have voted, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's stop. Thank you. So from the people who voted, from the total of people who voted, they actually think in the 98% thinks that it is true that it does increase your vocabulary. And in the case of reading and strengthening your ability to write, that also happens. Why? Well, because lots of your skills come from what you see and try to model. And there are several ways in which we can help our writing skills improve. Most of them happen without us even realizing, because they come from a source that, if we choose the right book, we can enjoy. Why are we doing this? Why did we get into the idea of using a survey as the experience that we all teachers may have regarding reading? Because one way or another, we have noticed that reading is a positive tool. And if reading helps, maybe, just maybe, it is going to be possible to get the students' attention when there is something behind the aspect of reading, like why do we do it, like a positive reason for us to read. And this comes behind the idea of a project, okay? We understand the project might help us focus our attention on why reading it is important, okay? Let me show you a second little video. You guys are all familiar with this cartoon, I am sure, because it's a very, it's a little bit, it's been there forever, right? It's a traditional cartoon. And this cartoon is going to give us the chance to notice how, if we do not have clear ideas of why we assign students a project, students can perceive it, okay? This is from the point of view of the student. This student has got a book report to do, and we are going to transmit it through the form of video. I hope you guys have a good service, and we are all, or now that we are all together, have the possibility to watch the video from this source. Anyways, I can share with you the link to the video if you want to watch it later on. If you teachers want to watch it as we are progressing, because you can't watch it on my screen, I'm going to share with you the link so that you can watch it. Bear with me for a second. And just a second. You will be able to read the link to the video in YouTube in case you cannot watch it. So I can share it with you in the questions panel for everybody. There you have it for everybody to watch it. If you teachers want to join the video right now, okay? But I hope you all have the chance to watch it. Let's go. All right, thank you. As I mentioned before, I send you the link to YouTube. You can find it in the questions section. If you teachers want to watch it later on, you will be able to do so. Do not worry about not being able to watch it all. You know, I insist on the video having trouble depending on the connection we have online. We are a lot of people connected at the same time, and it might be a little bit difficult. But as we could see, for the ones who could, the little video is showing the problem that some students may have whenever they are assigned work to do on a book and they have no clear idea what they want to do. Some of them go into a different topic. Some others start counting the number of words the teacher asked them to write for the report. They lose track of the topic. They lose track of the idea. They do not have a clear reason if the teacher didn't establish purpose or objectives. And they sometimes go into a different topic because, as the kid was mentioning, it reminded me of Robin Hood. And instead of Peter Rabbit, he starts talking about Robin Hood and lost in the track of the topic. So in order to avoid this, I would like to give you an idea of how we could assign work to these students, depending on what we give them as project. I'm going to show you a project created specifically for a particular topic. We are going to have somehow an idea or a sequence of activities that were created for this project for you in your classes. And in the end, a few extra suggestions on what you could do with reading projects to help your students focus and have clearer results, better results when choosing a book, not only for the sake of reading, but generally speaking for the idea of the project itself. Okay, let's get started. I would like to read a few of you with the question I'm about to make. What about the picture that you can see in here? Do you have any idea when this picture was taken? Who can tell where this picture was taken? Any idea? When was this picture taken? Who would know? I would like to read your opinion on the questions panel. When was this picture taken? Superb, excellent. Somebody said 9/11, not really. This year, not really. An earthquake, yes, really close. When in Mexico City, yes, that was in Mexico City. In 1985, no, it was not in 1985. Yes, everybody, thank you for your answers. This was taken in Mexico City on the 19th of September 17. 3 years ago, almost. 3 years ago, when Mexico City suffered for the second time on September the 19th, we had a terrible earthquake in Mexico, and somebody on the top of a building had the possibility to take this image. As you can see, it shows different points in the area where there were buildings going down, and unfortunately a lot of people died. So it was just 3 years ago in here. And with this topic in mind, we think now that some of you answered 1985. It was really shocking, and everybody remembered that date because it was exactly the same date. But what difference did we have the chance to check? How different was this earthquake from the earthquake years before? Lots of people say that we were more prepared. There was technology. We had been rehearsing every year. We have the practice of evacuation, and we have somehow the chance to have because there's are not something we can prevent. In ways, but we cannot predict them 100%. With this topic of natural disasters in mind, how can being prepared help us survive a natural disaster? Exactly. It could be because of the awareness that we give to people. Citizens are now more aware of the problems. So awareness is going to help us be more prepared. And if we think about it, we will have the chance to help our students get prepared for this. If we think from the point of view of a student, this information can help them create a survival guide. But first of all, we need to have access to information. We need to, because of the objective of this session, we need to try to guide our students towards the aspect of reading. And this reading point is going to provide the students with information regarding the topic. Now, the topic in here was or is natural disasters, and this time we are giving information for the students using infographics. They have become a very, very important tool. With this tool, students are going to have more information in a more visual way, but there will not be lots of text, and students will be able to focus their attention on specific information. These two infographics, for example, show information regarding natural disasters. The very first one was about fires. You know, wildfires. Last year, there were lots of wildfires around the world. remember Australia that struggled with wildfires, and there were lots of people who unfortunately died. Nowadays, wildfires have also happened in our neighborhood in Mexico. But if students have the chance to, yeah, exactly, animals also struggle with it, to get information. This, for example, was or is regarding earthquakes as well, tsunamis, if they attack the situation afterwards. We are providing students with information in a different tool, and they will be able to take advantage of it. I would like to mention something that can make a great difference. Let's imagine that we provide students with those texts, the infographics, or a book or information, generally speaking, where they are going to be able to read. But now we need to give them a purpose. What they will need to do is read the information, but report it after that from the point of view of these 4 roles. We can assign a different role to every team if we decide. We could organize the project by making teams and asking each team to have a different, each team member to have a different role. So from the point of view of a scientist, how can your disaster be predicted? From the point of view of a rescue worker, who are the people who help during and after a disaster? From the point of view of a journalist, what is it like during your disaster, and what might you hear, feel, or smell? These are just some examples that we can give our students to focus on a specific task. We provide them with the information, and when the information is ready, we are going to ask them to answer a few questions, but from the point of view of the person whose role they are following. Okay? In that way, they have something specific to do. Yeah, that is true. In Brazil, there have been lots of wildfires as well, with lots of problems. So if we have this role, it's going to be easier for him or her to focus on what to do with the information that you can see. That information first in the form of an infographic or graphics. Infographics are a very good. The student reads and absorbs the information, the student could now create one infographic. I would like to talk very quickly about a tool that lots of people, there are plenty of to infographics. Big infographics are going to give students the possibility to share their understanding saying you cannot read me or hear me. Are we here? Are we back? Is everybody back? Okay, so I'm just going to recall a little bit for those of you who got a little bit of problems with connection. As I mentioned before, the idea is that if you have the chance, you and your students create an account to create infographic. If you have infographic tools online, there is a better way for you to, number one, provide the students with information with visual representation, which is easier for everybody to access, or for your students to show the answers to the information that they just checked and summarized. Canva gives you free access to some templates. If your templates are used for free, they give you the possibility to download them and print them. But if you want to buy an account which is premium and have access to more tools and have access to more templates, you could also do it. I mean, it's an investment and it always pays. Tools are not that expensive. Tools are not, they usually, you buy a license per year. And believe me, you sometimes pay much more for a pair of shoes, don't you? So why not invest in a tool that can help you? Canva is just an example, but if you have examples of different infographic tools, make use of any, either for you as a teacher or for students. Lots of them give free trials, okay? I would like to somehow find the possibility to make use of this project for different reasons. So I'm going to challenge you to do something. Are you in? Do you accept my challenge? I'm going to present to you with different questions, and I need you to please Google the answers, okay? I'm going to give you a few seconds to answer, and I would like to read the first person who finds the answers to the following information, okay? Are you ready? When you find the answer, in the questions panel, write your answer. There we go. The very first answer you find is going to be helpful for us. Situation one. When did the worst hurricane in history occur? When did the worst hurricane in history occur? Google it. Enter Google and find the answer. Somebody wrote an answer already. When? The question is when. When did it occur? Okay, lots of numbers, 1943, 1900, 2011, 1780. Thank you. Let's see who the winner is. Okay, thank you. This is the first answer we usually run into. The Great Galveston Hurricane is known as the Great Storm. That was in 19,000. Some of them register this one as the first one because of the age. Fatalities show in between 6,000 and 12,000 happen in the USA. However, you may also have run into the Great Hurricane in 1780. That was exactly the very first answer that Esther Grant gave. That was the winner in here, the very first answer. Very good, Esther. Esther mentioned 1780, that was the first answer. And the second person who answered the first, for the first time, 19,000 was, oh my God, a lot of people. The very first person was in Roberto Armando, that was the second. Edgar Cárdenas answered the 19,000. So well done, guys. Second question. Pay attention to all this information. Analyze what you have in here. And the question is, what is the mode in winter storms? The column that says winter storms, it has information in different years. And I need you to please give me the mode. What is the mode? Interesting. Mathematics. Yes, I know we teach English, and that is the reason why this might be a little bit tricky, but that is why we have the internet. Which is the mode? The mode of this particular group of numbers, winter storm. Which is the mode of winter? Yes, this is mathematics, evidently. Let's see who found the right answer. We already have answers there. Exactly, the mode is 28. So we would need to, if we didn't have a clear idea of what this mode meant, we Googled the formula and we found what the mode was. This is an example of what mode is in a sequence of numbers. It's related to, the mode is related to the most repetition of a particular figure in a list of occurrences. The second example shows you the reason. For instance, you've got 3 times the number 3, so the mode of that particular event is 3. That is why if we go back to the previous slide, we can see that in this winter, the mode was 28, 1, 2, 3 times. In fact, 17 is also a mode. 1, 2, 3. It happens 3 times as well. Okay? So we are doing math, but we are reading numbers because evidently reading can also come from mathematics and we could analyze that information. So 28 and 17 exactly. That is the mode in there. Final question. Sorry, final question to set in here. But why would you imagine? Why do you think we did this? Yeah, you may be asking, Ahasi, okay, very well. What was all this for? Because our project does not only have to have English as the main objective. Remember, it is a reading project. And what we are doing in here is trying to activate a learning process. Here, everything should be centered on the student rather than the teacher. The student is the one who is going to perform most of the activities around the project. And we as a teacher are going to evolve from the instructor to the facilitator of tools, ideas, objectives, purpose. So as we notice, we are activating TIC, we are activating digital literacy, we are activating cross-curricular activities, we are evidently using English, we could make use of plenty of resources, and in this way, give students the possibility to use what they have learned for different purposes throughout the project. This project we are working with, the one that is related to natural disasters, is a project taken from a tool that I'm going to show you very quickly, with 5 weeks established already, somehow suggested for levels between 6th and 8th, depending on the format of a school that you work for, but it is somehow suggested for levels 6th to 8th, all right? And it was taken from a tool that in this case, we have in the company called MyOwn. It's just an example. You can create your own project. We wanted to show you the one that had already been created, because I think some of you who are part of our program, our session today, is you are users of this tool called MyOwn. MyOwn is a platform where students are going to find plenty of books to read, and teachers can run into project-based learning, which is going to give you already made suggestions. We took this example, this project as an example. When the students have got the project in mind, the very first thing that we should suggest is a set of books, or we should provide the tools for reading where we want the students to have access to the information. It could be the infographics, it could be articles we have already found online, it could be printed material. And from this MyOwn that I was telling you about, we got these different suggestions. We have 18 suggestions for reading. If you can notice, as you see the different lists of topics in here, the topics are organized related to the different natural disasters that you probably could assign per team. And they are also organized per level. Did you notice? For example, tsunamis is a book for a very low level. But raging floods is a book for high level. How are they ranked? These are specifically tools that you can find in the platform called MyOwn. This is the logo for MyOwn. You can find it at the bottom right corner of the page. MyOwn is a tool that is going to provide you with material organized according to the Lexile level the users have. And whether you are using MyOwn or not, I think it is important for us to know what a Lexile mark is, in case we haven't seen that term or we are not familiar with the definition. MyOwn ranks the information in Lexile level. What is the Lexile level? On the whole, the Lexile level of a student is the level of reading comprehension that the person has. It includes the range of vocabulary, grammatical structures, reading skills, strategies that a student or a user of a platform is actually going to be able to encounter. Lexile levels can be found in plenty of tools, but specifically in MyOwn, it's a very good way for a user to decide if that particular tool as a book is appropriate for their level. This is just a little information about MyOwn. For those of you who are not familiar with it, MyOwn is a product that you can buy in our company. MyOwn is a platform that is going to provide users with more than 5,000 books. These 5,000 books revolve around different topics of interest and evidently different Lexile levels. The advantage of this MyOwn tool is that the user is going to be able to find material appropriate to the Lexile level. I think that one of the main reasons why students sometimes don't like reading is the fact that they don't understand the books they are assigned to, or they are not interested in the topics the books include. What MyOwn does is create a questionnaire when they start that is going to ask or rank students' interests. and also a little diagnostic exam to analyze what Lexile level that user has. When those little exams have been presented, the platform is going to suggest books according to the interests of the students and according to the Lexile level they have, which we think is essential for those users who want to assign work but have very limited options. With 5,000 books, you guys have a very large pool of options, and you can make sure that the topic that the student selects is appropriate to the level and can revolve around what you want them to participate in. This particular tool is available for tablets. They could be Android, they could be Chrome, or they could be Kindle, or they could be iPads, and they could also work in laptops or Mac materials. So it is easy to have access to our materials online or offline. The best thing is that teachers are going to have the possibility to access reports so that you know what your students are doing with the materials that they are reading. You could even create projects so that the topics that you are checking in your school can be accessed through Mayon. But the idea is that students have the availability of lots of material that they can access as extensive reading. They can access as the fun thing to do instead of doing something else. Yes, Mayon is a license. You pay the license per year. If you want to have more information regarding the products, please, at the end of the session, you will read the contact details, and you are also going to have the possibility to ask for details in your area. Even an academic representative will give you the possibility to have more information on it, okay? So this is just a little add-on to the idea. The student, when you as a student, you as a teacher, you as a parent, can always have the possibility to download your report. As a teacher, as a student, as a user, generally speaking, your report can show you the reading minutes you have accumulated. You can see the students' progress per day. You can see the students' progress with reports. You can see if the student accesses more information in the afternoon or in the morning. You can read the preferences of the student. If you notice, when a school decides to use Mayon, they can even be organized per classrooms. And you can see the student position in the school. So you are somehow ranking your students' interest in Mayon, and it becomes competitive. It's actually a very cool tool. I insist, if you want to have more information regarding the product, please contact us at the end or in the emails that I'm telling you. So going back to the project, probably from this information that we marked, we are going to ask students to tell us which books they accessed and the author, or if they found articles regarding the products that the project that they were assigned with the natural disaster that they are working in. Maybe they can tell us which websites they used for us to monitor their work, because we should remember that when working with projects, it is essential that we monitor students' progress, and we can do it in different ways. We can establish rubrics, we can establish dates for the students. We can maybe ask them to work with an input in a list of vocabulary, and even, if necessary, ask them to create tools like picture dictionaries to share with the class, or maybe flashcards that they are going to share when they present their findings. And in this way, they can also help each other and have the chance to teach some other students. No, there is no difference in license. Licenses are per student or per user, and if the school gets it, the teacher doesn't have to pay for the license. Okay. As I mentioned before, it is essential that as a teacher, we create rubrics so that the student knows what he is being evaluated on. And these rubrics are going to be the base for the student to know how well he's been doing and how much he needs to improve. No matter the rubrics, no matter the categories, no matter the elements, it doesn't actually matter what you include in your rubrics, as long as you tell your students, as long as you inform your students what you are evaluating in the project that they are developing, and how often you are going to evaluate, how often you are going to keep track of their progress, all right? With this, the student is going to feel confident and is going to know which areas he's going to be able to improve. That is why it is essential to, as we mentioned before, establish learning objectives from the very beginning, okay? You are going to feel better if you actually do it. This is, for example, the set of objectives that a student is going to have to follow regarding this specific project of survival. I survive, okay? In this project, the whole idea was to use prior knowledge. I tried to do it with the picture regarding the earthquake. We included ideas of a picture dictionary or a vocabulary set, if necessary. There was a situation of planning that we could take from the different roles students can have and follow. We gather all the information, maybe by making use of the infographics, or they could be gathered by reading the texts in my own, or finding articles online and sharing the websites with us. We build the project on the whole, and evidently there needs to be a moment where we publish. By the end of the due time, we are going to ask our students to publish, and they can publish the way they decide. If you want to establish the way your students publish their material, you are free to do so. But if you want to let them do it on their own, if you want them to choose their own style, their own tool, I suggest you do so, because that will increase students' interest and motivation. Let me show you the results of some students who can actually, who have been participating in projects and show results like this. They come from more ideas. Do you want more? I have a very long list of ideas that I can share with you. Besides the creation of projects combining cross-curricular activities, you can talk about passion projects. I don't know if you have heard of this particular term. Passion project is a project for independent reading. This is a project based on what students are passionate about, but it will also reflect what students enjoy doing with the creativity they can get in mind by making use of any tool they have available, as long as they are reading about that particular project they are passionate, or topic they are passionate about, and then personalizing and showing to their friends. This is an example of a passion project result. A student who talked about the most disgusting things on the planet. If you notice, this is kind of like a plant, like a clay project. with lots of insects and things that don't look very tasty, very interesting, very attractive. And the result the kid wanted to give was projected through different cards. Notice how the student showed the result of his findings in this project. Another one could be a display, a poster, a scrapbook, where the person is talking about the passion in common. This particular one is keep pushing and going, no matter what comes your way, and push yourself to do what you thought would be impossible. This person read about Jessica Carlisle, a girl who lost a leg and persevered to try to reach his goals regarding running. And the kid linked it to his passion for football and even included his football shoes to present them to their findings. This is more or less the process this person suggests regarding the passion projects. Here, the very first thing the student needs to do is find a book that he or she loves, or find, first of all, a topic that he or she loves. If you think your students are not going to be able to find their books on their own, ask for the topics of interest, and you as a teacher suggest websites or suggest magazines or suggest books that your students could read. If you are using My Own, the only thing they need to do is search for the books available to their level, and they will be provided with the suggested ones which are appropriate to it. Then we are going to give students more or less a week to become acquainted with the book. They will probably flip through the book, analyze the topic, see the photo, see how many pages it has, or analyze the website and see how many, I don't know, articles they can find on the topic. After that, we are going to introduce the passion project, but this is very important, with a giant brainstorming session. If everybody is working with the same topic, this needs to be in a group session with your students. But if you are working with an individual project, I think you need to find a way to create these projects, the feedback and the beginning with the team or the student on their own, okay? Start by making questions like, what are your passions? How could you use them to reflect your understanding of the book? Creating a bulletin to use a brainstorming space through the week, allowing our students to write their ideas in there, and giving students a week to come up with proposals. This could happen all in the same classroom with all your students to help them find their own passion. Different ideas are all welcome. The intention is to motivate our students to participate, all right? I'm going to provide you with the websites that we used to investigate about these reading projects, and also to give you suggestions in more detail. So do not worry, all this information, you are going to find it in websites at the end of my session. You could also work as a result of the project with a reading booklet. In here, you can ask students to set the setting, what they consider the best part of the book was, maybe the main character. If you notice, this is a project that will not challenge very advanced students, but we could talk about the students in young learners groups. See, this is a very basic project where the student is creating a booklet that maybe in the end they can staple all together, or sew for those crafty ones and make it become a booklet, where students also draw, because if we are talking about very young learners will always be interested in illustrating their findings. Let them do that. They can organize the booklet depending on the age they have, with more or less contents, with more or less photos, with more or less images. It all depends on the age, and remember, the interest of the student. This is just an example. Another example we can talk about is a display board. This is very similar to what we have in the booklet. However, this is much larger and it could be used for intermediate students or students who are a little bit older, like maybe 5th or 6th grade, I would say, even in secondary education, if you may. Because if you notice, the students become crafty. And we insist, this is a suggestion for me as a teacher, but this is the finding of a student. This was the result of a passion project where the student was reading about ladybugs. The ladybugs are their passion. I don't know if you teachers like ladybugs. Some of us find them very mesmerizing because they are colorful and very tiny, and they are supposed to bring luck, aren't they? So some of us like them. Yeah, they are called mariquitas in some countries. So in here, the information regarding the book is presented in a more visual way, but it doesn't actually have lots of images. The text is presented under some subheadings, subtitles, and they give students the possibility to become creative, okay? I will try to answer your questions at the end of the session. Bear with me. I'm coming back. We are in the final part of the session. This is another example of a passion project. This is a project called Dystopia. This was the result of a passion project that a student created after reading a book. He decided to make a video, and the video has no words, it has sounds, but I don't really think it is absolutely necessary for you to hear it. I would like you to watch it, and I will also share the link with you at the end if you want to watch it all. Let me just be silent. I insist, you might not hear it all. I am interested in you seeing the sequence. This is just the result of a product a student created. Ouch. Wait a second, please. So Dystopia is a video. I'm about to open it, okay? Bear with me. This is Dystopia. Wait a second, I'm coming. Just bear with me because this is just the website. Here it is, here it is. I'm coming, just wait a second, bear with me. I insist I will share this website in your comments if you want to watch it directly, or if you want to just hear it from my screen. Here it is. That's it. So what this student decided to do was to share his passion project, creating a movie. It's a movie trailer. Some of our students are extremely talented when they make use of technology. You do not need to teach them how to use an app where they can make a movie trailer. You do not need to show them which tools to use. In fact, they might even become your teachers and show you and teach you a few tricks because they are very talented in plenty of tools. If we let them use their creativity, they will feel very motivated. So this was an example. After the student read, he chose the right images and created a movie trailer. And that was what he showed as his passion. One extra idea can come from a novel brochure. This is a brochure where the student is going to show us his findings. A little different from the display or the booklet, because this one is folded into 3 parts and it's like an information booklet, right? Yes, they can also have a few images if the student is interested. This is completely and absolutely dependent on the teacher's decision. If we give them the possibility to choose, they are going to be the ones deciding what or when a tool becomes helpful. Believe me, you know your students are talented. The point is that we sometimes limit what they can do by telling them what to do. How do they organize these passion projects on the whole? We, first of all, let the students choose, no matter how crazy their passion seems to be. It could be chocolate, it could be football, it could be plants, anything that students are passionate about. Dinosaurs, evidently. Dinosaurs are a very good one. These are all students' decisions, and that makes it student-centered, exactly. Later on, help the student ground passion projects in deep learning. The connection is going to be relevant. If, in a way, you find the possibility to link it to a cross-curricular aspect, awesome. Do not forget the main reason of the passion project is to help a student become interested in reading, not necessarily empty the topic that you are checking in the class. It's usually going to happen as a collateral damage. Huh? Why? Because if students are reading, they will always reflect their understanding in your classes. Complete progress charts. Remember that the idea is that you create rubrics where you show students what you're going to evaluate, how often you will do it, and how well they are doing on that particular project. That is why we need to try to establish dates for revision. Updates are necessary. Teachers, you should let go. You know, we teachers are, I think, in many cases, control freaks and want students to do exactly what we want, the way we want, every time we want. This is a project where we should let our students be. Believe me, one way or another, it will help. And I am not saying you should do it with every single thing you have to teach. What I'm saying is for these particular types of projects, it's not a bad idea to let go and give students the possibility to decide, okay, to work at their own pace, as long as you monitor them exactly. That is why the established updates are important. I agree with you. In this particular case, no mistakes. Mistakes do not matter that much. We need to let go. That is the reason why we need to let go. Autonomy learning is important, independency, the skills students develop, not only regarding reading, they develop skills for life when they find the solutions to problems and they become creative. And do not forget to celebrate your students' accomplishments. They need to feel motivated, they need to feel cared for, they need to be noticed, they need to feel they are doing right, okay? Remember that sometimes you are the only person who motivates the students. Sometimes your classroom is the safest place they have, because we know that lots of students do not have the best environments at home. And we as teachers become the second parents. Besides passion projects, I could suggest for you some online tools. I have already talked about Mayon. Remember, Mayon is available via Richmond. If you teachers are interested in Richmond licenses, if you would like a sales representative to visit you, please let us know. At the end, we will show you the websites and the emails where you can contact us if you want more information regarding this product. If you want to read on your own and identify what this Mayon is in more detail, enter mayon.com and you will find all the information you need, www.mayon.com. I also found Project Gutenberg. I don't know if you teachers are familiar with Project Gutenberg. This is a digital library. The digital library called Project Gutenberg is going to give you the possibility to find plenty of downloadable or readable books to have access and give access to your students. Once again, the only thing you need to do is create an account with your email address and personal information, and that's it. They will give you the chance to access their material without paying. This is a page that you do not have to pay for. Now, the point in here is, the more tools we have, the more information we will have our students to suggest. We will have the chance to suggest. What about reading projects in applications, in apps? Are you familiar with Pinterest? I think that plenty of us have Pinterest. Pinterest will also give you lots of help for teachers. Remember that Pinterest is a website or a platform where the users create the contents. There are plenty of teachers with their own Pinterest room sharing ideas for teaching, specifically for reading projects. If you want to find more ideas about reading projects, enter Pinterest. You can run into great suggestions. Another tool that I would like to share with you is We Are Teachers. This website is going to provide you with information regarding lots of lesson plans, ready-made classes, downloadable material. Some of the ideas that I took for this session were there. Lots of theory. It's called We Are Teachers. Google them, find them. You teachers are going to get plenty of suggestions. And the last one that I would like to share with you is called EPALS. EPALS is an international website where your students can have contact with schools around the world. Evidently, this is going to be something that you are going to have the chance to control by group, creating an account for your students and collaborating internationally. You will run into schools all over the world, and there you will be able to find international collaborative projects. Imagine to have the chance to work with the students in other countries, to make your students notice how similar or how different they can be. That may become a very enriching aspect. Your students are going to like it a lot if you have the chance. As we mentioned, sometimes we need to invest. I tried to pick up or to include websites which were free. or that at least give you the possibility to access information, creating a demo account and using it for a few weeks. But I really, really suggest the possibility of investing in teaching. I understand you sometimes need to pay and invest, but it is an investment. You are not throwing your money. I really think that what you get out of tools like those is lots of help for your lessons and for your personal development. Yes, you sometimes have to pay for it. Not everything is for free, right? If you think these tools are expensive, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Don't you really think that ignorance may cost a bit more? I love this quote. I think that if you have the possibility to invest on education, your personal, your professional development will help you grow in plenty of ways. So whenever you have the possibility, make use of those tools. And I really, really think that they will make a difference eventually, all right? These are most of the websites that I used to share with you in this session. Plenty of them are, as I mentioned, websites where you only need to enter and register with your email address. Take a screenshot or a photograph for you to have the chance to read a little bit more about them in case you find them interesting. Because believe it or not, there will be a moment when you will find them helpful, where you will find them really interesting and worth using in your classes. This is my name. This is my email address. I am Estela Rodriguez. You can find me at grodriguezv@richmonddlt.com. You can run into all our products entering our website, www.richmond.com.mx. If you are interested in specific products like my own, you can write our marketing team at marketing@richmondelt.com, just in case that you have no sales representative in your area. Because I think most of you, if you are Richmond users, you know who your sales representative is. If you don't know it, write an email to us in marketing@richmonddlt.com. And for those of you who want to check information after the session is over, the recording will be available in probably 2 or 3 hours. You can find it in YouTube Richmond Webinars, that is our channel, or you can go straight into GoToStage at www.gotostage.com/channel Richmond Webinars. And there is a second channel where you can find it as well. This is the moment for questions in case I didn't answer any or one question you have. Do not forget that you can also write to me if you have any question, and I can answer by mail after this session is over. I tried to answer most of the questions as I could see them. But I don't know if I skipped a question that I cannot find now and you want to ask before the session is over. Questions? Questions. This is a moment where I can read them. If I didn't read a question because there is a long list of comments and I can't find them all, please can you write your questions again in case I cannot find them, I cannot read them. Is there anybody with a question? Nobody? Remember, oh, by the way, there is a section in the panel that you have to the right that reads documents, documentos. There you can find the 3 infographics that I used. You can click on every one and download them if you want to take them home, if you want to have them available, because in the recording, we do not have the links available. But here you can download documentos or documents. You can click on every one of the links and you can download them. Books to read this day. Oh my God. anyone that you are passionate about, enter websites. There are plenty of websites at this moment which I have opened to the public. Scholastic is open. You can run into even Yale University or Harvard University. They open their libraries for free for all teachers to enter and for every user to enter at this COVID time, because nowadays you are actually going to be able to download them if that is the interest for free, because we want to be entertained. We don't want you to get bored. So plenty of websites online are open to the public nowadays. As long as you are interested in the topic, any book can be helpful. People asking about certificates. A couple of hours after the session is over, you will receive your certificates in your email. You can adapt everything that you saw to different grades, okay? Lower levels, higher levels. As long as you find the right topic, I think your students can develop plenty of these resources at all levels. This is difficult. If you don't find it interesting, how can you engage your students? I think that we teachers really need to get into the topic. Everything revolves around finding the right book to read or the right topic to investigate about. When the topic isn't interesting, it's going to be much harder. If there is a compulsory element to read, at least what we do about that reading, how we work around that topic is what is going to help us and help our students feel engaged. Because as a teacher, we need to admit the tool becomes handy. Find a topic you are interested in, and that will trigger your interest, I guarantee. Yes, we talked about the certificates a couple of hours after the session is over. Yes, the passion project can be any type of book, any type of text. If the student showed you that is the topic of interest, just try to give some suggestions. It could be anything. Thank you, thank you. It was lovely to have you all here. No more questions. Remember that lots of these tools do not need to be paid for. I try to include suggestions where you only enter and find the topics of interest for you free to download as long as you create an account, so you do not need to invest necessarily. When you have the chance, awesome. When you don't, no problem. Try to find free tools. Do not find them on your own necessarily. Remember, your students can actually find them on their own and bring them for you. Some of them already have tools available, books available, texts they are interested in, topics they are interested in, and with that, you can work. Well, I think questions are over. I thank you all. I'm going to open my camera just to say goodbye. Thanks everybody for being here. Everybody around the world. I am really glad that I had people saying hello from different corners of the planet, and it gives us the possibility to be connected. I hope you all have a great day, afternoon, evening, depending on your timetable and your schedule in the place where you are. Remember, you can enter our channels after this is over, and if you need to watch something specific about the website, some of you were asking to go back to a previous slide. I am really sorry, it was not always possible. The full recording of this session will be available for you so that you can pause, go back, rewind, forward the sections that you were interested in. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon in any one of our webinars. Remember, we have more webinars coming this week. Have a lovely stay, be safe, take lots of care, wash your hands, and I see you soon. Goodbye.